Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm just connecting the panelists at the moment. Just give me like 2 minutes and we will be ready to begin. Hi, Akib, are you there?
Hi, Oy.
Yeah, perfect. So we'll just wait for 2 more minutes. There are students joining in, and there are some of them on YouTube also. Just give them 2 more minutes.
Sure.
I think let's begin right now. It's exactly 6:30.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the fourth episode of Career Trails, How to Prepare for a Career in Machine Learning, with Aquib, who's the machine learning engineer from Tokopedia. One of the interesting things about Aquib is he's actually a mechanical engineer who suddenly converted towards coding, and then he's taken a love for coding and moved forward and created a career for himself in this particular field. Over to you, Aquib.
Hi, Oy. Thank you so much. Am I audible? To everyone, how would I know that
Yeah,
is a
Akib, you're audible. I'm able to hear
okay,
you.
okay, great. So, hi everyone. As you just told you, my name is Aquib Javed Khan, and I'm a machine learning engineer in Tokopedia, and I'm working in this industry for around close to 3 years. And I graduated as a mechanical engineer in 2016. And yeah, the transformation is not just suddenly; it takes time. Uh, it yeah, it took almost, I guess, 2 years, like just to get started and like doing then preparing for interviews and then cracking it and then working as a like machine learning engineer. And I must tell you, it's not that difficult, seriously. And there are a lot of resources online available today. You can like easily, study and just learn and then prepare yourself, and then you can uh, just crack the interview, go for the interview. Okay, yeah. So I'll begin with like what is machine learning, like, and what is deep learning, what is AI, and then we gradually, we'll do this session, this interactive session, where I'll be taking your questions and I'll try to answer it. So, is there any more questions like from your side, or should I just begin?
Akib, you can begin for now. There are a few questions coming up. I'll keep adding
Okay.
them as the session progresses.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the very first question is, what is machine learning? This, like, everyone first should know about this, and how we use it in the industry, and how it is like different from the competition like which are happening online and in industry, the way we solve problems. Okay, so machine learning is basically is all about uh, taking your questions and okay, so just sorry.
No problem, no problem,
Okay, I
Akib.
was just
Continue.
looking to the screen like if something is coming.
No, don't worry.
Okay.
I'll keep, the moment I find any questions, I'll keep letting you in. Don't worry about the flow. You can continue.
Okay. So this is my first actually webinar. So yeah, I'm a bit of nervous. Okay. Yeah. So I was talking about machine learning. So if you go through the definition of machine learning, so it is something like if you Google it, you will find like it's like how do you say? It's about like without explicitly being programmed a computer how it's understand and give you the results. It's basically this is the very basic uh, like the definition you will get on online, but you must understand the keywords over there, like must not explicitly programmed. What does it mean? Like here we don't write rules to solve any problem. Like when you code, basically you have so many rules in your code, and whenever the data comes or something, so through it, it passes through your rule, and then you give some like answer. But in machine learning, that rule we don't code any rule. It's all be understand by the algorithm, and it find their own rule, and it will solve. It will give you uh, the answer. So in machine learning, we have two things. Okay, so we need data. I mean, we need huge amount of data, and of course we need the computing power to compute, to do any transformation or to do any computation on the data. So basically, what are data? I just like to explain a little bit about it. In today's world, like what are all the data? So data comes from in a different forms, like pictures you post on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can say the Google Photos. We have pictures, music. We have text data. We have videos. So these are data. Okay, and we basically what we do with this data, because these data are growing very fast. I mean, it's not going to slow down in future. uh, it's very fast. We are uploading like millions of images uploaded every day. I mean, not every day, but it's of course in few minutes, like images, text, this all this data generated in the world at every time, and it's growing and growing. And to manage the data, to get insight of the data, it is very difficult to do it manually. I mean, you cannot find any insight but just by looking at some subset of data. It is difficult for for a human to just get insight, take insight of it. And so that's why here the machine learning comes into picture. You give the data, it's like there is like no limit, like how much data you need. It's the bigger the better. It's huge. It's much better. So, and of course you need the computation power for it to do the computation, and then you get the results. Yeah. So I'll just like speak about few like examples where this machine learning plays an important role. uh, I mean, everyone is aware of Google search. Like when you do any search on Google, like anything, whenever you search, so it gives you the result. That's one of the application of machine learning, and how it's like it will give you the personalized result, and it will like show you recommendation. It gives you, it show you better ads. So this ad targeting, these are all the, one of the applications of machine learning. And image recognition, like it will automatically, the systems would automatically detect uh, the entities inside an image, like objects, so-called object detection. And of course text, also understanding the context of a text, understanding videos, understanding audios. So these are all the like on the applications in machine learning. Machine learning are also like in the field, like it's very diverse. It's in almost every field. As like Andrew Ng, the professor, he always say that AI is the new electricity. So it's like electricity, like it will be in uh, every application, in every verticals of the industry. It's going to affect. Uh, okay, so I'll tell you like I want to take this session like in a three-part, like what is machine learning, how we do, and why we do. So like I guess I have explained what is machine learning. Is there any question? I would love to take it. Any questions? No questions, I guess, right?
Akib, I'm just looking at the both the screens. Just give me 1 second. In the
Yeah, sure.
meanwhile,
Yeah.
no questions at the moment pertaining
Okay.
to what is machine learning.
Okay. Okay. Great. So now I'm going to explain a little bit about how we do, like how we do, like we understand what is machine learning. Basically, we teach a computer or we teach a machine without being explicitly programmed. It is a basic definition. From the basic definition, this is machine learning. So how we do basically. So we need data, okay? And once we have the data, we basically, the very first thing what we do once we get the data is to clean the data. I mean, not all the data is like important, or like uh, everything in the data is suitable for your machine learning model, or like the project you are going to do, or the problem you are going to solve. So we clean the data, and once we clean the data, we actually convert the data into the form in which machine learning algorithms understand. So what I mean to say is the data, like text data, computers, they don't understand text directly. I mean, in images you have the pixel values, the numbers, like the mathematical numbers directly. So computers are great in this, like computation with the numbers, but it doesn't directly deal with the text. I mean, the words we have. So we have to convert all those the text data into the number form, so-called word vectors. Basically, we create. This comes under NLP, by the way. Yeah. So once we have the data, we clean the data. This step is called pre-processing, and once we did that, then we have to split the data, like training and testing. So basically, training data will like go for the training the model, and then the testing we basically test uh, on the data. But while training this test, data is unseen by the model. Model means the algorithm which we are training on. Yeah, once we like train the model, we'll go for the deployment if the accuracy and uh, any metrics you solve for your to choose your algorithm you have chosen according to it. If it performs well on the testing data, we put into the deployment, and once we deploy it like via REST API, or like in any form which you want to consume it. So this is a very I can say high level of like how machine learning basically uh, how we do. Basically, we get the data, we clean the data, we split it, randomize it, and we feed into the model. The model learns from the training data. We test it on the testing data, and once it have a good accuracy, we deploy it. Yeah. So this is like how we do, and now like the next question is like why we do. And okay, so there are many steps in between like in the like how we do part, like we as I told you, the pre-processing step. So just to give a glimpse, like like what we do in pre-processing, it's like anomaly detection, anomaly finding in the data. Let's say that if you have some column and all the values are in the range between 1 to 10, and then you suddenly find one value is like in 1,000 or 10,000, like that. So these are the very small, small checks you will do. Let's say that you are building a classifier called in a cat and dog, and then you suddenly found that there are lion in the cat uh, folders. So those are like those you have to do manual checks for that. Yeah. So that is like a very high level of how we do. And why we do. Uh, why we do? Because we have a huge amount of data. Huge, like and we cannot like the problems are complex. We like manually cannot solve it, or like we cannot manually uh, put any human to do that specific task that is repetitive, and it also takes like a lot of effort. So that's why we try to build a model that can replicate a human action at that point, and where these algorithms will work instead of a person. And one of the biggest achievements of, you can say, the machine learning application will be in personalization and recommendation. So Google show you personalized ads, and it recommend you the products which you might like. Like Netflix also recommend you the series or movies you might like based on your previous uh, shows, whatever you have watched. Uh, yeah, so this is one of the few applications of machine learning. Uh, I guess okay. So this is why we do. So do we have any question here in how and why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Akib,
Okay.
so primarily two different questions have come in. I think this is
Yeah.
the right time to ask the question.
Yes. Yes.
The
Because I'm
first
speaking.
question, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The first question is one of the students has asked, is knowledge of coding very important to pick up machine learning? Can we do machine learning without knowing how to code?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I was about to come on this point. So okay. Yeah. I will. Okay. I'll answer this question right away. Yes, coding is important. Because you are going to deal with the data, so, and of course with the computer, so you have to know how to load data, how to pre-process, and these things. So yes, coding is important, obviously, and you have to do all the computation, so you have to write code for that. But don't worry, all those are implemented in libraries. You have to just import it and pass the data, So it's not that terrific code you have to do. Okay, it takes few lines of code to do that.
Got it. So primarily it's like something like an API where I pass in the data, pass in the
Yes,
information, and
yes,
then it processes and gives me back an output.
yes. Actually,
Got it.
yeah, everything is like almost implemented in the libraries. That there are Keras, TensorFlow. Keras make it much easier to build any deep learning neural network, like using in
Beautiful.
TensorFlow in backend. It's like in a few lines of code you can create a image recognition or like any sentence classification, intent classification. So it's quite very easy, and you have to just understand like how how you know how you're dealing with the small things like getting the data, creating a basic data structure for it, and then just in the format that the model will understand, and just you have to feed pass through it. It's easy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So another quick question that's come is, how is machine learning different from data science?
Okay. Okay. That's a good question. I think I should first clarify what is data science, what is AI, and what is machine learning. Okay, that's a good question actually. Okay, so data science is actually comprised of, I mean, lot of things, a lot of things. So I'll start with what is AI. So artificial intelligence it's a very big field. You have system inside it which understands, which reacts, we have an agent which sends something, and then it revert back to with some action. Okay, so AI is a big field. It's like for a basic example, if I give you, it's a self-driving car. It's an AI system. Okay, uh, and what is machine learning now? So AI machine learning is a subset of AI. Okay, and inside that machine learning, we have very basic. I mean, not the very basic. I'm just saying, like conventional machine learning. So we don't deal with the deep learning part, but machine learning is conventional machine learning. The algorithms like SVM, decision trees, uh, these are like naive based. These are like very basic machine learning algorithms. Okay, here.
Akib, sorry to cut you there. If you can actually explain what these terms are, because most of the
Oh,
students here are completely fresh to this kind of a scenario, right? If you
yeah.
say SCBM, they would not be able to understand. If you could break it down and make it a
Oh,
little more simpler, that would actually help.
yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, so I was at this point like explaining what is machine learning,
Correct.
the machine learning in AI. Okay, so as a AI, you might have understand it's a complete system. Okay, it's a complete system. It's like self-driving car. It's autonomous systems, and inside AI we have subset called machine learning. Okay, that machine learning is about the training the data. Okay, finding the right algorithm in a machine learning, and passing the data, training the data, and then getting the result from the data. It's like building the model. And why like how machine learning is different from deep learning is like in machine learning we deal with like not huge amount of data. Like I mean the earlier in 1990s or like before 2000, we don't have huge amount of data, and of course we don't have the computation power. So at that time these algorithms like I told about naive Bayes, these are the algorithm. SVM is support vector machine, decision trees, these are the algorithms. Okay, and these algorithms deal with the small amount of data. I mean, it's small means a few thousands to a million, like that. And now these algorithms perform well on this small amount of data. And it has a limit. Like it cannot go further this accuracy or some level. So this is machine learning, and after that we have this deep learning. Deep learning is basically all about neural nets. And one of the big difference between machine learning and deep learning is in machine learning, we have to hand code the features. And I'll come to this point, like what is features from the data. Okay. So for now, just understand we have to hand code the data and then feed to the machine learning algorithms with the levels. So these terms I'll explain, features and levels. And yes, and we feed to the machine learning algorithms and we train it the model. But in deep learning, we actually pre-process the data and we do very little bit of feature engineering, and we pass through the deep learning algorithms. This will automatically find the best features and do the computation and this other part, like we train the model, deep learning. And what is data science? And data science, I believe it's all the consist of all these things, like machine learning, deep learning, all the mathematics behind it, stats, and all those comes under data science. Or the data engineering is also a field of this, where we deal with the management of the huge amount of data, the flow. So that is data engineering. Yeah, so I was about to explain about the features and labels. What are features and labels? So from the data, so okay, there are two kinds of like machine learning with. Okay, so there are basically three type of the machine learning we do. Like three kinds of learning is there. I can say like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. And what is supervised learning? Supervised, as the term suggests, like it says supervised, it means you have features as well as label with the data. What does it mean is, let's say that you have okay, a few images of car, okay, and then you have labels like this is car, and you have again few images of, let's say that cycle, and you have the label like with cycle. I mean, you have the data and you have the answer to it, like what the data is. Okay, so this is supervised. I mean, you have features and labels. So what will the feature of a car, like let's say that okay, let me explain with other example, another example. Let's say that you like a song, and so what will be the feature of the song? The song, like the tempo, maybe the voice, and then how fast. I mean, a lot of people like to listen slow music, and some people like fast music. So these are the features from the data, and the labels will be whether you like it or you don't like it. I guess I'm clear till now. Any
Yeah,
question on
Akib.
this? Okay.
Not at the moment. If I have, I'll keep asking you, Akib.
Okay, okay. And yes, so these are the features and labels. So in supervised learning, we have both features and labels. And in unsupervised, we don't have labels. Like we will not have like this is car or this is cycle, this is mobile. We don't have labels. So there we just get a raw data. We don't have anything to explain what the data is. So at that, if you do any learning on that machine learning, that is unsupervised learning. And we have the third like reinforcement learning. So basically reinforcement learning is a very different from all this, where we have agent, and we take feedback from the agent, and we learn through the while the training process we learn. It's all about the reward point and all. It's like if you if I give you an example, let's say that the best example will be if you do any mistake, you learn from the mistake. It's like let's say that there is a live wire going through, and initially you don't know that if I touch this wire and the current is going through it, it will going to give me a shock. And if you go and just touch it and you get a shock, and then you learn at the time instantly that if I'm going to touch it again, it's going to hurt me, it's going to shock me. So that's the feedback system. So you learn from the environment, you get the rewards, and that's how the agent learn in a reinforcement learning process. So that's a different kind of complete process. It's a reinforcement learning. So I guess I'm clear at this time, explaining the kinds of learning and the difference between machine learning, deep learning, AI.
Yeah, Akib, you're good to go.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, I'll talk about what skills you have to have to get a machine learning uh, position at work, or like how, like what things are needed and what we use here. So in skill sets, let's say yes, programming is important. You have to have a knowledge about at least one programming language like Python or R. Right now, most of the data scientists or machine learning engineers, they are widely using Python, and R is also there. R is mostly used for statistical learning. It's mostly famous for that. But yeah, Python has almost everything to do. So I guess Python is easy also. R is also easy, but I think Python is good to start with. You should have at least knowledge of Python till classes. Yeah, functions classes till that, and all those the basics of Python, and till the classes and decorators are in that. Till that point, it's fine if you know the programming language. You're good to go. And So from the programming language, you have to know about this Python, primarily all those things. And from the math side, you should know about like little bit of about linear algebra, probability, and little bit of stats. So in linear algebra, you should know about like matrix factorization. Like you should revise your linear algebra a little bit, so that you understand the matrix operation and all. So all this machine learning and deep learning is all about like matrix multiplication and matrix operation. So you should know about this linear algebra. And from the computer science, like from background, you should know about like data structure and algorithms. Why this is important? Because when you like deal with loading the data or like saving or something like that, you should know about the the good data structure. What should we use for that? Let's say that for searching or something, like if you're storing like list, or it will be better for searching in like dictionary. So these basic things you should like know from this computer science, like data structure and algorithms. Yeah, so this are the very primarily skills you need to get start with machine learning, to start learning machine learning, so that you'll be able to understand most of the algorithms and how it's been implemented. Okay, so any questions for this?
Akib, there is one question from Mayuri.
Yeah.
She's asking us, do we need to be an expert in Python programming language? Is being a strong in one language, is it very essential? Or is it okay for us to learn any language? If you could probably shed some light on that, that would be really helpful.
Okay, so as I told, like for Python, you should know the basics of Python and till functions and classes, and if you go with the decorators also. So till that point, I think you should know. Also, you should know about little bit about REST APIs. Like we basically build with Flask. All those are like are easy. Not you cannot learn everything, about a language. You have to get started, and just to get started, you should have this much of prerequisite. I can say that, and then on the way you will learn.
Mayuri, does that answer your question? Hello, Mayuri, are you there? Does it answer your question? Oh, carry on, Akib. I think
Okay.
she's clear about it.
Okay. Okay, I think we have some question from Subham. Do we need to have advanced knowledge of ML algorithms
And stats.
Okay, I guess not the advanced knowledge of ML algorithms. I told like you should start with the very basics. Like I told you, having this prerequisite, like all these maths and this Python. You should start with the very basic library called from scikit-learn. Look into the website of scikit-learn and start implementing on this small data set. And the advanced knowledge of ML algorithms, I don't understand the advanced knowledge, but you should get started with the basic algorithms like naive Bayes, support vector machine, decision trees, k-means clustering, KNN. So you should start with this. And these are very useful algorithms that solves actually a lot of problems. So not every problem needs deep learning, because nowadays deep learning are really very hot topics in the market. But not every problem needs deep learning algorithms like neural nets. But these basic algorithms will like helps a lot, and it will solve your problem. That these are easy also. Okay.
Perfect.
I hope this is the
Akib,
answer. Yeah.
just to add on to the same question,
Yeah.
you told you need to be strong in mathematics. So what
Yes.
topics of mathematics does anyone need to learn or pick up? Because as you know, maths is a very vast subject, right?
Yes.
So what is the minimum that we need to learn to be able to get a strong hold of machine learning? If you could shed some light on that too.
Yes, of course. Okay, so maths, like as I told, linear algebra. Linear regression is the algorithm. Sorry, it's just coming to my mind. So linear algebra. In linear algebra, I told you like the basics of matrix multiplication, the matrix factorizations, From there, then span, the matrix span and all. Like you can visit the linear algebra, again, your course, the basics of all linear algebra. From probability, you should know about the, I mean, till this Bayes theorem and all, because that's conditional probability. That's actually comes a lot of time. Naive Bayes is actually based on this Bayes theorem. And then stats, the descriptive stats, the basics of it. You should know about like that. You should know about distributions, very basics, very basics of it. Just know like what is a distribution, what is a distributive like mass function and all. So little bit you have to know just to get started, and you will definitely learn on the way. So actually you will learn here by doing. So once you start implementing, once you start exploring the problem, and you will learn on that way, like what to use, what not to use over there. So I hope I have answered the question.
Yeah, perfect. Akib, that clarifies the mathematics part of it. You can continue
Yes.
with the flow.
Okay. So now I will talk about like the career aspects, like where this which field like in ML, I mean, you should like go, or maybe like this will give a light on where these ML are getting used, or where the people are using this machine learning. And so I told you like Andrew Ng, that quote, like AI is the new electricity. So it's like almost all the, I mean, industries, they are using machine learning in their product. And why they are using? Because they need, I mean, they have huge amount of data. It's like maybe not all the companies have huge amount of data, but yeah, they will have, and they wanted to, basically they want to optimize their any product, or optimization means it's depend upon the, it's actually depend upon the problem statement that they are solving. And of course, not every problem needs machine learning or deep learning. But here, okay, so I'll just tell like where these machine learning are being used. They are in like medicines, uh, astronomy. I mean, okay, I think you all might have heard about that black hole photo, was very famous few days back or few months back, the first ever picture of black hole. I guess I'm right. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So there is some sort of ML over there, okay, because it was a huge amount of data from all those 6 telescopes. I guess it was six telescopes, and how they like distributed the data, and how they have used the data to form that image. And yeah, then as you can see, this self-driving car, and in the digital life, it like e-commerce platform, or like you see the ad targeting in Facebook or in Google. So uh, these are the like industry, like where the machine learning is being extensively used right now. And but in the future, it will be in almost every verticals of the industry, where these algorithms will be used, the machine learning will be used to solve a problem. So the thing is, once you build a system with it, it is reliable, it is like accurate. You can trust on this, the output of the machine learning model, and it's quite fast, of course, because human is not there. Yeah, that's the one of the reason why we wanted to build things which will like replace humans at some tasks, like repetitive tasks. Uh, yeah, I think this is the like picture of machine learning in industry right now. And I think you might have all experienced these search on any Google, and then you might facing the you might see ads on your Facebook, or my on the, or maybe on Instagram, because they know what you have searched for, and they'll try to recommend you the best of the best product that will matches your interest. Or might on the Amazon has a great recommendation system. So if you search something, and you will get all over the internet, wherever you go, they'll try to show you the ads related to your search. Yeah, so these are like careers like where you can look into it, uh, for the applications of machine learning. Like it's really like it's not important that if you are from like background from computer science so that you can only get into it. It's not like that. Like machine learning is like uh, it's a combination of all the things as we have seen, like mathematics, programming, a little bit of like algo DS and all. So I think it will like if you are going to build a career in it, so don't hesitate that. Don't think like no, you're from this background and like, you cannot get into it. So it's not like that. So you can. What I'm trying to say is it has a diverse field. It's a very diverse field. It's in everything almost. It's coming in the autonomous systems, and I think today in this field we are building lots and lot of autonomous systems, and these things are really required over there. So I think this is the requirements of machine learning in the industry. Yeah, that's all. That's from my side for the career prospects. And I think and one more thing, like I would like to say, if you are looking for internship, the best place to look for the internship is like follow the people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place, seriously, and connect with the people. Go to meetups, and this is really going to help you. I mean, lots of meetups are going on. It's like try to find a local meetup, like in a meetup.com or like Eventbrite, and you will find the machine learning. I mean, in almost every city, even we do like Kaggle days meetup. I mean, in Delhi NCR we do, and I'm sure in Bangalore and some other city also you will get this. So just go into that meetups, and a lot of people will be there, and you'll make connection with them. A lot of people from industry come there. Okay, this is like how you will get internship. So any question do we have?
Yeah, we do have another question from YouTube. So from Ashfaq, he's asking, primarily you've also told there is an emphasis on data structures and algorithms.
Yeah.
So are there any specific set of resources that we can learn from? He's primarily a fresher in he's not from the computer science field, he's from a non-computer science field. For him to learn these particular skills, what is the resources that you would recommend?
Okay, so from where you can learn AlgoDS, I guess this is the question, right? The resources.
Yes.
Okay, I think there's a very, I mean, you can go on Geeks for Geeks, and then like you have HackerRank. There are a lot of online resources. Basically, you can learn AlgoDS. There's a book, Corman is very famous. I mean, you can look into it, and you don't have to go very deep inside it. You just have to know what these algorithms do, where it is useful, and how to implement it. Of course, you'll get it on Google, but you should know what to implement, and Google will teach you how to implement it. I mean, you can of course find it. Yeah, I hope that's the answer.
Perfect. That one answer has been clarified. There's another question, again, as a follow-up question for this particular thing. He said you were a mechanical engineer and then you moved to computer science field. How was your initial phase of the journey, and what made you take up computer science as your core field and move forward?
Okay, that's a great question. Okay, so I'd love to answer this. So I'll tell you about my background, what I did in my like BTech. So basically, when I like took the admission in college, so I'm from Odisha Engineering College, Bhubaneswar, and I was really interested in robotics, and my college was really helpful in this part. I know my seniors, so they really helped me get into the robotic competition and all. So till my second year, I'm going to many IITs and NIT, any colleges for the robotic competition. There basically I learned. So there are two types of competition over there. So one is manual and autonomous. So earlier I was in manual, and then I saw the autonomous robot. So where we basically program a robot, and it follow a path or it does some specific task. And then I really feel like I see it's very interesting for me, and I really want to know how it works and what type of code you do. So I just wanted to understand. Then I find a board called Arduino, and you do some coding over there. I learned coding. I actually started learning coding in my, I think, at the end of second year. we had C in first semester, but I didn't. I was not that good in C. But yeah, but when I see the application, the real world application in the autonomous robotics for the specific path, a specific task, I was interested and I started learning this C, the Arduino language, basically IDE. You do program over there, and it was a really good. It was easy and fun to know what you code and how it actually works in the mechanical way. If you see in the robot, I was really interested. So now at that point, I was in the autonomous robotics. Then I find that okay, uh, follow path or like doing some specific task is good, but how a robot see something, like if something is come in front of him without a sense, like how it is going to see. Then I on Google actually I found there is something called computer vision. So it's all about the image processing, understanding the image video in front of you. I started learning in third year. I started computer vision. There's actually I learned from MOOC, massive open online courses from the online. I think this was Coursera, and there is one year, online courses from QUT Australia. They were offering at that time, so I took that online course, and they actually taught me, and that helps me a lot understanding what is computer vision, how you code for that specific computer vision from using MATLAB. And then that was the end of third year, I guess. I was very new in that field, and then understood, okay, this is computer vision. And yes, after that, then till the time I was like aware of MATLAB, then I started learning Python because MATLAB is not free. I mean, not that everything is not free in MATLAB. Then Python is open source. Then I thought why not to learn Python, and then using OpenCV and everything, and you do computer vision projects. Then I learned Python. I learned the OpenCV. That was my very first library I've ever used, OpenCV for computer vision. And then slowly, once I did that, now I understand, okay, how computers understand images. What is image processing? Now I wanted to understand, okay, how it works on the text data. So then on the text data, basically, I understand. Again, we have to convert it to the numeric form. I mean, then I understand there's something called natural language processing. So for images, you have computer vision. For text, you have NLP and NLU, natural language understanding. So this is my journey from one step by step. I was doing things, and then I see, okay, there is something called, there's a whole field for that computer vision. There's again whole field for NLP and the word text. So this is how I slowly came into this field, and I was working and I was building my own projects. And luckily, I got an intern from a company in Bhubaneswar, and started my journey from there. I did a few projects over there, POC. It was Electrics Technologies, and they're really doing great in computer vision. And yes, we did some POC. Then from there, I moved to companies, and this is my Tokopedia. I'm here, and so here I deal with both computer vision and NLP problems. We try to solve. We work on recommendation, ad targeting, better search for our platform. So this is what we do here, and that is how I came into this field, I guess.
Thank you for answering that, Aquib. So we have all heard of Tokopedia. So what does Tokopedia actually do?
Okay, so Tokopedia is a online platform. It's like Flipkart, and it's in Indonesia. And we have of course, the sellers on our platform, and we are one of the biggest marketplace in Indonesia. And it's like Flipkart, you can just understand in Indonesia. And we have here the sellers. We have few products we have digital and marketplace. It's like the Flipkart. What we do over there is we try to solve problems using machine learning and deep learning. Like as I told you, mostly we focuses on recommendation, personalization, these things. And we also try to have a good quality of products and the images on our platform. It should not anyone can upload anything. We have this freedom, but anyone can upload maybe sensitive images on it. So we have to filter. We cannot manually filter it. So we build it machine learning model which can identify whether it is safe or not. So these are the things. These are the daily work we do here on Tokopedia.
Beautiful. Thanks for answering that, Aquib. I'm just okay. I'm just looking for other questions from the other platform.
Sure.
Just 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. One of the students has asked. So he's primarily trying to code. I don't know where he's trying to code. He's like, I need help in compilation steps. He's not able to compile his program that he has created. So before you answer that, let me just answer that here myself.
Okay, yeah.
So Ashfaq, the primarily this is just to understand how machine learning as a career can be supported for you. What kind of a skills you need to have to prepare for this particular career. We will probably take some additional time from Aquib to get him to do a workshop on machine learning
Of
soon.
course. I'd love to.
I'm sure
Yeah,
Akib
I'd
would
love
be
to. Yes, I'd love to.
we would love to have you on one of these workshops that we could do for these students. Probably we will try to answer in that, and also probably we will also be sharing resources post this webinar on how do you go about this. What are the resources you can look at? Say for example, ebooks, e-learning courses where you can look at. All that would be shared. We've already curated a list, and I will take some feedback from Akib to enhance on the list and keep sharing data with you. One more question as a follow-up, Ashfaq has asked is, suggest me a small mini project that he could do.
Okay. Okay, so for the projects, let me tell you about a platform called Kaggle. I think you people might have heard about it, Kaggle, and if you don't, then please go to Kaggle. And Kaggle is a online platform. It's about the community of all the data scientists, machine learning, and a lot of professional people are there. And many starters, the learnings they started learning. Even I learned a lot of things about machine learning and deep learning, how to implement these on the projects and on the Kaggle. So if you go to Kaggle, you will have a learning section over there. And in learning, they have all the list of resources and what things you should learn first. It's like everything is ordered over there. And if you can go and just see, you will find how to learn machine learning or data science on Kaggle. And for the project, I'll say again on that platform, if you go to the competition part, and you will see there are a lot of learning competition are there. The competition will have like a different kind of category, so like research or like learning knowledge. So if you look into that knowledge category of all the competitions, you will find many data sets, and you can play around with it whatever you like from there. Okay, so one of the very famous problem is Titanic problem. So there you try to predict who will alive by just having some features like name, age, gender, the class. So with this, I mean, you can really start with, everyone start with that if someone go to Kaggle, like Titanic problem. And basically, I would like to just add some topics on machine learning. Once you understand the basic of all those, like you have done the scikit-learn and all those things, there are basically two things like part in machine learning. One is computer vision and one is NLP. Computer vision is all about like using images, videos. You do object detection, a lot of things over there. I mean, image search, seamless search, all those things comes under computer vision. And NLP is like all about understanding the text, building chatbots, question answering systems. All those are NLP. So you can start with either one of these, and then I mean you can move forward, and then you might later you can learn both. Yeah, so this is I wanted to share. Perfect. To learn, you go to Kaggle, and for the books, I really suggest for the statistical, the ISLR is very famous, Introduction to Statistical Learning. It's very famous book. And of course, for machine learning, if you want to look at an initial phase, you just go to Kaggle and scikit-learn. These two website will teach you a lot. I mean, if you go to the scikit-learn, it has a great documentation, one of the best documentation I've ever seen. So scikit-learn and go to Kaggle, and like on Kaggle you can implement everything, like whatever you are learning on your data set, and it has like free GPU, CPU over there. You just create an account, go inside it, create a kernel, and do experiment whatever you want to do. So, yeah.
So, and Kaggle is free, right?
Yeah, it's free. It's completely
Perfect.
free. You're getting GPU to do anything, whatever you want. It's all free.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Again, and thanks a lot for answering that, Akib. Another question from Nitin is: everyone says there is enormous amount of data being generated.
Yes. Yes.
When taking our first step in coding, how can we understand which test suits that data to decrypt the data and to understand what the data is and what it's trying to convey?
Okay. Can you repeat once again? I
Perfect.
just
So
missed it.
I'll break that question into multiple portions.
Yeah.
So you've told that there are enormous amount of data that is being generated.
Yes.
Okay. When someone's trying to code for that particular data, first is how do they understand which type of test suits that data?
Okay. Test.
First is that.
Data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second is how do we identify which method to use to decrypt and understand what the data is all about?
Okay.
Third, how do we understand what the data is trying to communicate? So primarily, if you have data, it tries to communicate some message.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do we understand that? These are the three parts to the question.
Actually, that's a great question. And all those three parts are linked to one thing that we call EDA, exploratory data analysis. So once you get the data, we basically explore the data. Okay. Let's say that you have got text data. Okay. Let's say that you have a tweet data and it has a categories. So what do? It initially is you just look the data and see what are the lengths and what type of like n-grams things are being used in the tweets. The exploratory data analysis is basically about your understanding about the data, what kind of data you have, how much the classes are there. I mean, the type of examples are there in the data, and all these things you do in exploratory data analysis, where you find anomalies also, where you can like check whether the data set is balanced or not, or whether it is highly imbalanced. So these kind of distributions regarding the data and what it is trying to convey, it's basically I guess if you have done the EDA and you have very clear from the EDA that okay, this data is regarding this thing, this data is regarding this part. So I hope this is the answer from my side. Like all these things are EDA. Once you do the EDA, you will get to know more about the data and what things you have to do. From there, it will be clear.
Perfect. Any follow-up questions on that, Nitin?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we can hear you.
Yeah, Nitin.
Hi. So basically, what you said is okay with me, but a small understanding is, see, let's say I'm doing a sentiment analysis, right?
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So when I'm doing a sentiment analysis, so see, I'm a fresher basically, and I wanted to do a sentiment analysis. So what kind of data will suit the sentiment analysis? So first of all, I need to understand what the data is about, right? To do the
Yes, right.
sentiment analysis. So I need the clarification about that.
Okay. So sentiment analysis of the I guess of the tweets or like any sentences in a text data. Am I
See,
right?
I'm just giving a, example. That's it.
Okay. So sentiment analysis is basically about. Okay, that's a very famous data set called IMDb data set, movie review data set. Okay, and that's all about your sentiment, like whether that review about a data, review about a movie is positive or negative. Okay, so if you look into that data, and you will find there will be like reviews of some sentences like varying from the varying length. Okay, and it will have a label called positive and negative. So in a text form. So this will be one of the like basic data set for sentiment analysis. Once you get this data, you can do a EDA, like looking the length and you're looking for the n-grams and bigrams which are coming into these categories, fell into these categories. And then you will find, okay, also in between then you have to also clean the data. I mean, in text, you will not only find the words, you might find numbers, you might find emojis, you might find a lot of symbols inside the in the text. So you should remove all those before moving forward while modeling. I mean, I hope I answered your question. If there is any doubt, you can again ask the question.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions from anyone? Okay, perfect. Akib, at the moment, I don't see any questions. We'll just hold for another 1 minute to see if any questions come up. In the meanwhile, Akib, I have this personal question that I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, sure.
So, when you moved from mechanical engineering to computer science engineering,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure all your friends, your family would have asked you, "अरे यार, तुम तो mechanical engineer हो, तुम कैसे computer science में चले गए?" So all these questions that come around you, right? How did you try to tackle that?
Actually, it was like actually my friends were knowing about like I was doing robotics and also they didn't ask me much question because because they earlier know like okay I'm in this field, so they know like where my interest lies and what I was doing. And yeah, at the time it was really actually I was in doubt for some time, like when I was in third year or fourth year. I was in little bit of doubt, like if I'm moving with this, whether I'm doing like choosing a right direction or not, like right path or not. But then I see, okay, so to be very frank, if you see in India, doesn't matter whether which branch you are from, you'll end up in any IT industry, right? Most of the students like they are in IT industry, regardless of the branches they have chosen in engineering. So I thought if the condition is this, then of course in IT machine learning will be a part over there, and I can contribute wherever I'll go in that field. So yeah, there were at that time very few of my friends were in this field, or very few. Like we are close to 5 or 6 people, and yes, from there, and then I met with a lot of people in meetups and all. So when I was in Bhubaneswar, we did the GDG, Google Developer Group meetups and all. So there we like met with many people. And at that time also, this Tech Bhubaneswar happens. It's a very big event by Mindfire. And I met a lot of people over there. They're working in the same field. I get like inspired and have some confidence. Okay, I can do something. People are already doing in this industry. And I thought, okay, I can contribute something to this field in this industry. Yeah, this is how I came into it. Like no one asked the questions about, because they all know that we all are going into the same field, IT.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Akib, there is a question from Shubham, but before that, I just have another question which I would like to ask you about.
Sure.
So most of us in India are primarily driven to take up a career based on the salary that we get.
Yes.
I'm sure you understand that, right?
Of course.
So for example, right now there is a boom saying that machine learning engineers are paid the highest. That's the belief that most of us here have on the other side of the thing. So according to you, if a fresher is joining a machine learning as a machine learning engineer, say with 0 years of experience in this particular field, so what is the kind of a salary he could expect?
Okay, to answer this question, actually it depends upon the company you are joining. So when I join in the startup, of course, in a startup, it won't be, if you're in an early phase startup you're joining, that won't be much, but of course it will match your industry levels. Okay, but then I was in TCS for some time, and there was no salary difference between me, because I was working as an LP engineer, and the other people who were working from my same batch. There was not much difference. Yes, of course, but once you completely into this field and you move to other companies and different companies, of course there will be a difference. But if you're really good in anything, I mean, in back end or front end, you can always negotiate with HR. And
Of course. No, that is understandable. If you can give us this ballpark figure that everyone understands, okay, if I put my effort and learn this is the amount of money that I could make. See, that's a motivator for many of us, right? If you could give us a ballpark figure, that would actually be one interesting insight.
I mean, you can check on if you see on the Glassdoor, like for the 3 years of experience, if you see close to it's between range of 9 to 14, LPA, like close to 3 years. I mean, you can get it. But yeah, of course, it depends upon the company to company.
What about a fresher, Akib? The fresher joining initially? Yes.
For fresher, it's if you join like so like company like TCS or Infosys, you will get exactly the same that they offer. Like
the 3.25 lakhs LPA.
3.5 is like 3.7 is like that. So there won't be much. But of course, yes, they do have different verticals. Once they there might if you get into some project or like in any R&D, of course that figure will be changed. Because that actually changes, but you have to fight for it.
Of course. Salary negotiations are for another day. We will not take this up today. So perfect. There's a question from Shubham and also from Afan. So I'll take it from Afan because it's the second time he's bringing this question up.
Yes.
So he's asking, instead of going to masters in data science as a course in MS, is there a good thing for me to learn from Udacity or Coursera?
Of course, like whatever I've learned till now, like I haven't done masters, but like I have learned from all these Udacity free courses and the Coursera. I bought Coursera courses are really, I mean, I found it much. I mean, not like for my understanding, Coursera. I love Coursera because it's not much. Like you have to pay some 3,500 and then it will be for every month and you can do the course. But Udacity is also great. I mean, it's have a like very good curriculum. They have nano degree programs, but I have not like done personally, so like I cannot comment on that. But yes, for the free courses of Udacity, I have like started Introduction to Machine Learning using Scikit-learn. That's the first course which I have taken, and then learn basics of machine learning from there. And of course, the Coursera Intro to Machine Learning from Andrew Ng, it's a great course, and you can start from there. And for regarding the masters will open you a lot of door and a lot of options. Of course, you have like there's a pros of doing masters, and if you're doing it, will surely open many doors to you in the industry. So if you learn more, of course, it's good. But for now, if you wanted to, if you want a job, you wanted to work as a machine learning engineer, or you want to just get started or want to go into this industry, of course, you can learn from Coursera and Udacity. And of course, you can learn from YouTube channels like Siraj Raul channel, and then you have Sendex. A lot of people are like putting their content on the YouTube. You can learn from there and you implement it. You can go.
Beautiful. Akib, I would request you if you could share some of these links. I could share with all the candidates also, so it'll help them prepare for it. Definitely. Now, coming to Shubham's question. Sorry, Shubham, for putting you on for hold for such a long time. Can you tell us what kind of questions are asked for a data science interview? Like, if I have experience in online questions, does the interview involve theoretical or practical questions? And then he's also asked about online hackathons. Do these help?
Yes. So Subham, if you have done like online hackathons, so you might have like experience with the technique you have used and why you have used. So whenever like we look for like whenever we do the interview, or like we whatever you have implemented or whatever you have done, we'll ask from there like why you have done that. Because in machine learning you can do one thing, we can achieve one thing from many algorithms. You can use basic machine learning algorithms, you can use deep learning algorithms to solve that problem. But we will definitely like anyone can definitely will ask you why you use that, why you use those parameters, and why you have choose that specific algorithm to solve that problem. So of course, your hackathons, whatever you do, just understand like why you are doing that completely, because the questions will be coming from there only. So yes, you will get like, and there is like practical and theoretical. I think once you study the machine learning and you implement, that is not much difference. I mean, the practical and this theoretical is not much difference in it. So both are almost same. Okay, and whatever you learn practical, you have to implement it. I mean, in practical, whatever you learn in theory, you have to implement in practical. For example, if you learn about the AOC ROC curve, so if you learn in theory this one, so if you are facing any problem with solving a binary classification, so you have to use these metrics to know whether your model is how it is performing. So my main intention is for this answer. There's not much difference between that. The question will come from whatever you have done and why you have used that part specifically.
Beautiful. Thanks for answering that. 1 second. I think Afan has a question. Afan, we are not able to understand the question. Can you please ask your question here? I've unmuted you. Afan? Hello, Afan, can you hear us? Okay, I'll just try to repeat his question. How one should be good at math stuff for data science?
Okay, so how one should be good? It's a good question. How anyone gets good at anything? Just practice. Just practice. Practice, and practice. You just look into
Totally.
months
No,
in
I was
data,
not sure. I was not sure if you understood the question correctly.
Okay.
That's why I was trying to ask him. I think he's muted himself. But
Okay.
anyways.
So to be good at maths, first you have to, of course, learn, study maths. Once you study, when you implement the algorithm, just try to understand what that algorithm is trying to do on the data, what transformation is trying to do, and in that transformation, what mathematical operation is there and it is doing in that way. So if you go through this more deep into the algorithms, how it works, you'll definitely understand the process and you will be good at mathematics. I mean,
Afan, did you understand or do you have any follow-up questions on that?
I'd like to add one thing. Don't think about mathematics like with this. I mean, I know mathematics is tough, and you people have seen all those long optimization problem. But trust me, that's just a one line of code in Python, and you don't even know that all those things have happened once you run the code. So you really don't have to write every operation of mathematics in a code. So that's everything is there. You just have to call the function and you have to pass the parameters in that function, and it will compute for you. So don't have fear of I'm not that good in maths. How could I do? You just have to know what things is going on. Okay, why it is doing in that way. The computation, how it will be done. Just leave it to the computer. Leave it to the library you are using. Okay, so yes, but understanding is important. You should understand, but don't afraid it's tough and how to get much better.
Got it. Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So most of us have this fear right from school, right? Oh my God, mathematics is so difficult for all of us. Yes. So, but thanks for clarifying. Thanks to all the libraries and API that are existing right now. You don't have to do a lot of mathematical operations. All you have to do is call in the API, send in the data to that API. It will process it. You don't have to do any mathematical equations at all.
One line of code will do a lot of calculation for you. I mean, you'll be amazed to see. And thanks for the Keras and these high-level APIs, they're really great. Just one line of code and it will do a lot of things for you. I mean,
beautiful.
You even you'll be astonished to see. Okay, just one line of code and this does all these things.
Totally right. That's the whole thing about machine learning. Now machines are becoming more intelligent compared to us.
That's the beauty of these high-level APIs. Yeah.
Totally.
So, yeah, don't afraid of mathematics or the anything even I'm really bad at these things, but always remember computers are good in doing mathematics and computation.
Just put the right formula in.
Yes. Even you have to call the formula. The formula is also over there.
Oh, beautiful.
You have to just call the function and it will compute for you.
Perfect. Any other questions anyone else has? I think that's the number of questions that we have got. Aquib, thanks a lot for taking this amount of time, almost 1 hour off your busy schedule and being available for these students. Just 1 second, I'll just check on YouTube if anyone asked any question, any last question that's come up. Perfect. So there are no questions at the moment, Aquib. And thanks a lot, Aquib, for taking your valuable time and being here with us. It's a pleasure to have had you today with us. And thanks a lot for your time, Aquib. So
Thank you so
do
much.
share these resources with the candidates,
course.
and
Yes.
we will be scheduling a workshop with Aquib since he has volunteered for it. We will be
Yes.
scheduling a workshop with Aquib very
course.
soon.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Aquib. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, UI.